up till now, every single tutorial we've done, we've made our pages for iPad, portrait. What happens if you want to create an issue that has renditions for iPad and iPhone? So I'll show you how to do that. First of all, let's go to our iPad portrait and let's create a page for that. We'll make it really simple. Let's place an image from our assets folder. Let's choose this one. Place it across the top of our page. And let's put a text box underneath it. Make this our body copy. Fill it with some placeholder text. And let's also put some kind of headline in while we're here. So here's a pretty standard iPad page. Let's save that. Let's put it on our documents directory and let's call it my awesome page. Okay, so that's our iPad page. Let's say we want to create the equivalent page but for iPhone. So let's create a new document. Intent is digital publishing. This time iPhone. Let's say portrait. So it's given us the standard iPhone 4 dimensions of 320 by 480. Now in actual fact, I'd quite like to design this for a taller iPhone, so the iPhone 5, iPhone 6 aspect ratio. So I'm going to change that 480 and I'm going to make that 568. Let's get rid of that text frame. And here we go, here's our iPhone page. Let's place our same image into there. And let's put it here. Let's put a headline underneath it. And let's put some body text underneath that. There we are, here's our equivalent page but for iPhone. Now the important part here is on the page panel. You'll see here we've got a field called orientation. By default that says tablet vertical. Now in this case we're on an iPhone page, so we want to change that. You can see here we've got tablet vertical, tablet horizontal, phone vertical, phone horizontal. So this one is going to be phone vertical. And because we've selected iPhone, that enables this drop down box underneath it. Now this is ratio high 16:9 or classic 2:3. So what this refers to is whether you're designing for an iPhone 4 or for an iPhone 5 aspect ratio. iPhone 4 was the 320 by 480. If we were designing for that size, we would select classic here. If we were designing for iPhone 5 or iPhone 6 aspect ratio, which is what we're doing here, we'll leave that as high. Rest assured that whatever you select here, it will display just fine on a user's device. It's just Future Folio will deal with that. This is telling Future Folio what display you're intending your content for, and it will letterbox or pillar box appropriately according to what the user's device is that they're viewing it on at the time. So let's save this document. Now the important thing here, because this is the same page but for a different device, we have to give it the same name, so my awesome page. Trouble is, if we want to save it into the same directory, hang on, we can't do that because you can't have two files with exactly the same name in the same directory. You've got two choices here. You can either save it to a different directory, so you want all of your iPad pages saved to one folder, or your iPhone ones saved to a different one, or you can append these little codes that we saw earlier when Folio builds it. So you've got _V for vertical, _T for tablet. In this case, we're in a phone, so we're going to say _P. And that just enables us to save it into the same directory, but because we've used the same root page name of My Awesome Page, Futurefolio will recognize that as the same page when it comes to do its issue build, and it will join them together appropriately. And you'll notice by adding that _p, we've actually restricted our choices in the orientation drop-down here. So it's trying to help you out here so that you don't call your page _p for a phone and then accidentally leave it as a tablet orientation. So if you want to know a little bit more detail about this, you can tap on these info pop-ups and it'll tell you those codes. It'll give you a little hint about you can add them to the document name, tell you how the drop-down will restrict it, all this kind of stuff. So we've got My Awesome Page phone and My Awesome Page, which if we wanted to, we could call it _t just to make it clear that it's tablet 1, but we don't have to because we've marked it as tablet vertical here. So let's build those pages. Let's choose our directory first of all. And I've created a folder here to hold them called Multi-Rendition, and this is going to be our issue folder. So let's choose Multi-Rendition, and that's our iPad page built into there. Let's go to our phone page and build it to the same folder. Now going into Finder, in our Multi-Rendition folder, we now have My Awesome Page phone vertical, My Awesome Page vertical tablet. The next stage is to combine these into one issue build, and that's where the multi-rendition magic happens. So let's go to our issue panel, choose the directory, multi-rendition. Now then, you'll notice that two different icons have lit up here at the same time. The issue panel has detected that you have the two pages with the same root name, My Awesome Page. It's detected that you have a phone version and you have a tablet version, and both of them being in portrait. So those are the two that have lit up there. If we go into our default section, you can see we've only got the one page. That's because it's detected those two pages are actually the same page and it has combined them into one. So now if we do an issue build, we'll get our build output retina and build output standard. Each of those only has one page. So let's try copying that into our simulator directory so we can look at it in Previewer. Here it is, build output retina. Let's give it a more sensible name so we know what we're looking for. Let's call it multi. And let's launch up our Futurefolio Previewer. Let's minimize that. Choose our issue. And the previewer will detect that this issue contains both a tablet version and a phone version and ask us which one we want to display. Choose tablet and we'll get the iPad version. Go back again, choose the phone version, and you will get a simulated iPhone showing you what that page will look like on a phone. And the same applies if you wanted to do an issue that had portrait and landscape renditions in it. The important point is your page layout needs to match exactly for each of your renditions. So if you've got an iPad magazine and an iPhone magazine, you can't have 3 pages in the iPad one and 20 pages in the iPhone one. So you decide how you want your magazine to look in terms of sections, within each section how you want the pages to be laid out, and then within those pages, what renditions do you want? Do you want an iPhone and an iPad? Do you want iPad vertical, iPad horizontal? So the important thing is your page layout is exactly the same across your renditions. This is how the issue build knows how to combine them, because you have equivalent pages with just the different settings for phone or tablet, vertical or horizontal, and the issue build will combine them by looking for those same root page names.